Imani represents one of what the world might call a miracle. Statistically, an 18-year-old single mother, we know what that story is going to be. With Imani, we don't know what's going to happen.
So Imani came into our lives when she was a preteen.
When I first started volunteering for Chat, I worked with Imani. She became my real connection to the community.
I just remember from an early time her being both very shy, but also very invested.
I could tell that she just had a joy for life, very engaging. Anybody who meets Imani is just drawn to her.
I got to learn Imani being in love with, from being in Chat. We did the street leader thing together, then we did the internship. I basically did a lot of stuff with Imani.
I think about her generally as a daughter, as family.
I am Imani. I am a Churchill graduate from Churchill Academy. I am a mother of one child.
Being able to mentor Imani, I got to see Imani grow academically. But as she entered into high school, we really saw that the school was not meeting her needs.
Armstrong had a hard time. I really didn't have no type of relationship with the teachers at all.
The idea of really pushing herself academically was not something she necessarily desired. But we as a community desired that for her. And with the start of Churchill Academy, we knew she could thrive there.
This is how school was supposed to be, because I did not get homework every day. Churchill Academy gave you homework every single day, and I was like, Lord. Yeah, the teachers in Churchill Academy actually care about you learning stuff, and even if you're like out of school, they care about you.
So when Imani was in high school, her grandma asked if she could come live with us for a little while. She just wanted to be in an environment where she would be supported academically and encouraged.
I had 3 credits that I had to finish, but I did not do it because it got hard, and so I gave up. The teachers tried to push me, but I was not letting them.
She became frustrated and started not doing her work and just started really having a hard time.
It's a love story. That's the best way to define Imani Clark and Churchill Academy. We show love by holding students accountable and by setting rules. I showed love to Imani in 2010 by not letting her graduate.
She slid back into some old patterns, and as a result ended up having to move out of our situation and sort of take ownership of her own life.
And that's when everything started actually going downhill for me. I started drinking like every weekend. I was still smoking, and then I got introduced to pills, and so I stopped popping pills.
I would say that would be the isolation phase. It's the phase where she was really testing whether or not the things that we had said were real or not. And I think it's a temptation we all face. At some point, we all go out into the desert.
Us being in love with, like, we encouraged her to go back to school and stuff like that, because what she was doing wasn't helping her.
She had pulled out of church involvement, of involvement with Chat, involvement with her family. She kept pushing people away.
In the community in Chat, it was like there was some deep mourning that happened. And in my relationship with her, there was deep mourning to see that happening, and then a feeling of sort of helplessness that all we could do was sort of pray and invest and encourage. But the realization is that she's an adult and she's got to take ownership.
After not hearing from Imani for many months, I finally got a call one night, and I could tell that this was a different call. She was desperate.
I found out I was pregnant, and then I was just like, okay, all right, if I want to keep this child, I have to change who I am.
And she came to Percy and I and said, I'm in trouble. Started crying and just basically said that she was virtually homeless. She, at that point, had to rely back on God.
It reminds me a great deal of the story of the prodigal son, is that it makes you understand why the father could get up and run across. Because we were all waiting around, all of the Chat community, all of the people that had been her family, we were all sitting and waiting expectantly for her to show back up at home, for her to come home.
One night I was sitting in my apartment, it had no heat, it was like freezing outside, it was freezing in my apartment, no lights, just sitting in my bed alone, crying, thinking like, what I'm gonna do next with my life? And I was like, okay, I need help.
So it's a love story because Imani came back. She was coming back, looking for the kind of love that she knew we would give her, which was structure and guidance.
The teachers let me back in. Miss G, you're awesome. So they let me come back.
She just had a completely different attitude from the other students. It was like, I'm getting work done because I'm going to graduate from high school. And she ended up getting honor roll for the entire year. I'm not sure she had gotten honor roll her entire time.
Everybody clap.
From that point on, she really shifted her focus to one of living for somebody else. She realized that this new life inside of her, it wasn't about her anymore.
The strength that it takes to say, I'm gonna come back while pregnant and finish high school, that's just amazing.
The day of graduation, I started crying before I got in my car. How far she's come, the woman that she is growing into, all that God is doing in her life.
Didn't matter how old she was, she gave up once when she came back.
I should have never left chat. I just felt like it was in my business, but it was a good thing it was in my business because they care about me and they were trying to help me.
I mean, Imani is a kid that without community would skew far negative. But with community has been given this opportunity that she is more and more cashed in on.
Imani is a strong person. She's been through so much. Now she has turned her life around and she's ready to take on the world with her and Khalil.
Imani is proof not only for herself, but for an entire community of incredibly gifted, beautiful, talented young people that one bad decision or a couple of bad decisions is not the end of the story.
She has now become a dear friend to me. She means the world to me, and I know she would be there for me no matter what.
The most profound part of Imani's love story today is that it's not stopped. She keeps multiplying the love that she's received and giving it back out to others. If we all could do that, it would be an amazing world to live in. So, thank you to Imani.